7 messed up breakup confessions that would make you second guess about dating. Confession 1. He broke up with me on a birthday trip to Thailand. It wasn't a dream vacation after all. My ex and I went to Thailand together for a 2-week birthday trip around the country. After being together over a year, on the 3rd day he confessed that he didn't love me anymore and realized it a month before the trip, but couldn't tell me and didn't want to be with me anymore. The trip was non-refundable. I had to get a new passport and take 2 weeks off work, and it was his idea. It was miserable and humiliating. I drank a lot. Instead of going home with me at the end of the trip, he stayed and got drunk with some of his friends who conveniently showed up and slept with random girls. My birthday was terrible, and then I had to explain everything to my friends and parents when I got back. I cried for weeks. Confession 2. My girlfriend left me homeless after the breakup. I was living with a girlfriend for the first time and financially dependent on her adding to the household because we got an apartment above either of our individual means. She breaks up with me. The cable and power are in her name, and she cancels both without telling me, takes the bed which is hers, and my rent doubles all, while my dad is going through a life-threatening medical situation. I lost the apartment and had to move back in with my parents. Confession 3. I dumped her on the day she was proposing to me. She was already kind of distant, and I was very frustrated that she never seemed to have time for me. She had to work the morning of my birthday and told me she was gonna go home and sleep instead of coming to my party. I was so upset after everything that I broke things off with her immediately after she got off work. Via text. A bunch of our coworkers showed up to the party and were wondering where she was. I told them she wasn't planning on coming, and they said she'd just been talking that morning about how she was coming, but wanted it to be a big surprise for me, as she was planning the big proposal on my birthday. I can deal with being dumped, but having that guilt, knowing that I dumped her, and I was in the wrong, that's what kills me. Confession 4. I had a miscarriage, and my boyfriend cheated on me. My boyfriend went to see his family and stayed away. Before he left, I was very nauseous all the time and very sore, and my body ached all the time. He was nervous when he left and said he'd be back soon and keep him updated. I started getting bad cramping and bad bleeding and thought it was just my period, but then the bleeding stopped after 1 day. I went to doctor for tests, and it turned out I had been pregnant and partially miscarried and needed a D&C. I also had first-stage signs of cervical cancer due to HPV that he had given me. I kept him informed of what was going on. He freaked out and never returned and admitted he had been cheating on me with a girl in his hometown. Confession 5. I called my girlfriend, and her new boyfriend replied to the call. I continued with my high school girlfriend after I went to college. We were only 100 miles apart, and things were fine for most of our freshman year. Then one day she stopped returning my calls, this right after I had spent the weekend with her. I continued calling, getting worried. Then one day, I was walking back after class and called her. The guy picked up and said, "There's a new sheriff in town. Stop calling." I could hear her laughing in the background. I loved her dearly. Wanted to get married after college. I was devastated for a year. Confession 6. He attempted to plant drugs in my apartment and call cops on me. I foolishly decided that moving into the same building as my boyfriend would be cute and convenient. After drunk driving my car, getting me mugged, and stealing from me, I decided to end it. I broke my lease and started packing. My ex was so pissed off at me that he decided he was going to break into my apartment, plant some drugs, then call the cops on me. My super called the cops when he saw him trying to get into my apartment. Thank God. Confession 7. My 34-year-old wife left me for a boy she met on an online domain. Woke up one fine October morning, and my wife of 8 years was gone, along with her computer and some clothes. Nothing else. Her wedding ring was sitting on the desk where her computer used to sit. No note, no phone message, no hint she was leaving. I found later she had lied to her dad about needing rent money and bought a ticket to live with a 19-year-old. She and I were mid-30s boy she had met on an online game.